Hello, everybody. It is great to be here again today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the CEO, president, and founder of GSD Get You Done Venture Studios, the premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. The 17-time serial entrepreneur, love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread, but opportunities are not. And today I have my incredible guest, Sarid Smadar. He's from Israel. We're going to be talking about his experience, and we're going to be talking about DragOnFlow Systems, his company. DragOnFlow is a front-end application development environment for business and health processes, empowering organizations to create automated dialogue-based applications from process flowcharts and do it effortlessly and quickly. So with that, I'd like to bring Sarid on. Hi, Sarid. How are you today?
Very well. Thank you for having me, Gary.
Yeah, no problem. So I have a question for you. So why in the world did you go to Nanjing University?
Well, I first of all, Nanjing is a great place, although in the summer it's a little bit hot.
Mm-hmm.
And Nanjing used to be the capital of China for a certain period of time, the southern capital. But during my studies in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, I was assisting to host a delegation from China, from the largest electronic factory in China, from Nanjing. They called Panda Electronics, and we had a good touch with them, and they offered me to come over, and after I finished my studies in the Hebrew University, to go and to continue for advanced Chinese studies in Nanjing, and that's what I did. It was an incredible experience. We were international community from all over the world, from the US, from Asia, and from Europe, and all of us are quite eager to enjoy China and the culture and language, and it was a brilliant experience.
How were the people?
Well, the people were great. It's we're talking about. Well, I like Chinese people. I like in general, I like people, but uh, uh, when I came to China, it was early mid 90s. China was not as modern as it was, and I think that to some extent it was more naive, and it was great, more traditional. Let's put it this way. And I enjoyed every moment there to explore. Every day was a new exploration in terms of meeting new people, uh, enjoying the food, culture, and used to travel a lot. It was absolutely a fantastic experience.
Wow, that's great. And so you spent time, you did marketing and sales from Airtel Systems, right? And you were dealing specifically with the Pacific Rim. So that must have been interesting. How long were you there totally? How long were you in China?
Totally, I've been in China for 3.5 years, and
Mhm.
1 year I was studying, and then I was eager. I finished my studying in China, and then I was eager to come back, and it's quite an interesting story. I was looking for a job. I came back to Israel as a student, just finished graduate from school, and very young, and I went and I met this company, Aerotel, and they gave me a chance. I was very young, and they said, well, I said that I specialized in China and I wanted to go back, and they said, well, I was lucky enough. They gave me a chance to go with the director of sales and marketing. We participated together in a week, a very large exhibition in Beijing, and then I left. I was left there all by myself for 3 months to follow up the show and with the leads that we had on hand, and to see what I can come up with. And then I extended it for 1 more month, and after 4 months, I managed to make a few sales, and then I ended up staying in Beijing back then with Aerotel as the local representative. So it was it was quite an experience.
Wow, that's great. Boy, I love that. That's a fantastic story. And then you went to Nice Systems, and again, you're working in Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Korea, right? And if you look at your career, it's really focused a lot of it at least to 2000, was focused on the Far East, correct?
Yeah. For at least during the 19s and till 2000, I was traveling a lot in Asia and all over, including Australia, and it was great. I think that while I was at NICE, I think 60-70% of my time was in planes and all over Asia, and you meet a lot of people, and it was an amazing experience.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
and so you went from Nice to Elbit, and
yeah,
then so you decided to focus on CT Motion, decided to focus on Europe and Asia. So
yeah.
you made the transition over. How was that? Making the transition, going from the Far East over to Europe?
Yeah, well, first of all, back then Hong Kong was quite had a lot of European influence, and it was not that big of a change, although the flights were quite shorter. So it was basically it was quite okay. I embraced it and adopted it easily. It was good to start having short flights rather than long one to Asia. That was
Oh,
the main
that's,
difference.
and how would so the people were interesting. Like, how much has it changed, Sarah? Now it's a lot different than it was then, right? The back in the 90s and 2000s. China's a totally different place, right? It's not the same.
Well, I believe that it's got a bit different, no doubt about it. Far more sophisticated, I believe, and a bit less traditional, at least from our expectations, I believe. But people remains people, so it's all the same. I still maintain some contacts with friends over there. Some of them scattered around the world. Some stayed in China. Some foreigners also started having roots in China, so they stayed there in Shanghai, and we are all in touch. So it's something that we embrace the change. Things have been changed, but still, people are the same.
That's interesting. And do you speak Chinese?
Yes, I do. I speak a little Chinese. Well, I used to be far more fluent, but I still speak Chinese. 2 years ago, we went to Thailand, and instead of speaking English, most of the time I spoke Chinese, and it was quite refreshing. I'm trying to keep my Chinese as much as possible. Obviously, I read and write far. I got rusted, I must say. It's not as I used to be, but definitely in terms of speaking, verbal speaking,
Now, is it hard to write Chinese? Is it hard to figure out what caricatures to use?
well, in after practicing for such a long time, when I was studying this also during my university days in Israel. It's one or another. It's engraved in you because you practice so much. So it's not easy, but it's doable. And obviously, the Chinese nation, most of them write and read. So obviously, it's not that hard.
Huh.
Just need to practice.
Wow, it's interesting. Okay, so then you went to Cellesense, and
Yeah,
so
I
you
was one of the
provided
founders. One of the founders. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. What was that like? And you did that for 20 years.
Nearly, yes. Well, together with my co-founder Nachi at DragOnFlow, we've co-founded Cellesense, and basically Cellesense, we've developed a set of tools for natural language search-based capabilities. So we had these tools that we have developed, and we had to customize it. Basically, it was a project-based tools where we had to customize it per each and every customer which we've met. We started with the UK, a little bit in Europe, and then we've realized that we have something strong from all over the world with the Hebrew language in terms of parsing the Hebrew language for search purposes. And we focused in Israel with large blue chip Israeli companies. So we made quite a few projects with finance, with government, with transportation, and this was, I believe, the glue that started the whole story in terms of entrepreneurship. between Nahi, my co-founder with DragOnFlow, and since then we've been working together.
And so, like, you have Weight Watch, you have a wide variety of companies. You got Migdal Insurance, Weight Watchers. So, like, what were you doing with them? I know you talk about process, but what exactly were you doing with those companies? So you go into a Weight Watchers. What do you do?
Well, with Weight Watchers, actually, it was our first Israeli partner and customer. We've customized through it was back then using text a BMI application that was based on natural language parameters, which you could express yourself in terms of who you were, and then we passed it, and then provided you the BMI and the Weight Watchers relevant information about certain products. We put also some basics information about dietary info. So that was then. In terms of insurance, for instance, we've used our set of tools for document search based on natural language search. We did it also for banking, for financial information, and transportation, how you go from one place to another, describing different addresses and other parameters, all in natural language. That's what we did. So basically, it was a set of tools which we customize per each and every customer.
So how much more efficient do you think by using NLP in those kind of environments? How much more efficient and how much more effective do those companies become, right, in terms of their solutions? Are they 30% better, 50% better? What do you think in terms of injecting NLP into them?
Well, first of all, it's a gradual exponential thing, which you start in one point and then you improve it as you may know, and eventually you get into a point where at least the topic that you are covering is being covered in the most accurate, in the most comprehensive manner. So you're getting fair, good results, and that's what it's all about. So as long as you are looking at a specific topic and you cover it correctly, then you are gaining brilliant results. Obviously, if you're going to a very large unmethodologist topics, then it could be problematic. So it's how you design and how you focus the solution to be in terms of what would you like to cover.
So go to the next level. Let's talk about DragOnFlow system. So how did you come up with the idea of DragOnFlow?
Well, during the time that we were at Cellesense, we've noted that many of our partners and customers are using flowcharts in order to describe different processes within their IT development, whether they would like to go through a certain process, prototyping. So we've discovered that using a flowchart is something that is within the nature of many organizations. And then it was just the preliminary stage of getting into an IT project. And then we came to the notion, why can't we take a flowchart and make it as the designing point as well as the coding point, so we will save a lot of time in terms of all the steps that IT is usually doing when they have to start an IT project with a specific department within the organization. So that's how it starts.
So you're going down through this and really, applying NLP, right, to those environments, but how much better do the processes become? So give me an example. How do you take what complex business process and then with conversational scripts, et cetera, but give us an example what it would look like.
Well, the NLP, first of all, the NLP with Cellesense is not necessarily being implemented within DragOnFlow.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's something a little bit different, but let me perhaps start with, in terms of defining the problem as we saw it back then and what triggered it. Most of IT department within the organizations are overloaded with requests from different departments in order to become more advanced in terms of digital application. They would like to save money and to become more efficient, therefore digital transformation, obviously, and to become and to be seen innovative. And when you look at a typical IT project, you have the guys from IT has to nominate a system analyst, and then a project manager, and then a QA, and of course a programmer. They all have to sit and speak with the customer within the organization, whether it's sales, support, or others, understand what he needs, then to go back to fix the design, start to develop QA, the whole story. A big task, long-lasting, and of course very expensive. Let's take, for instance, Maccabi Health Services, which they are one of our customers. Maccabi is serving approximately 3 million people in Israel. They are the second largest HMO, and they have, for instance, they have a call center that receive information about faulty equipment within Maccabi's branches who scattered around the country. Now, external technicians are being invited over to the specific branch, fix the equipment, and then they pick up the phone and they call the call center, staying on the line, and then have to speak with the live agent and start to explain that they fix the ultrasound machine, the printer, the X-ray, and the whole process of what they did used to be verbally over the phone. So we were approached by Maccabi in order to solve this and to take the whole story into a digital manner in a quick automated fashion, and that's what we did. So before I continue, here I think that it's the right time to explain what actually DragOnFlow is doing. And DragOnFlow is a development environment for creating a dialogue-based interactive applications for non-IT professionals. That means that when a professional within the organization could take a flow chart that using an off-the-shelf tool that he's using on a daily basis, such as PowerPoint, Draw.io, Visio, and to simply describe a process or a transaction through this software that he's using, and then upload the drawing into our server. What DragOnFlow does is basically convert the drawing into an interactive-based application, a dialogue-based interactive application, which immediately can be accessed over web, over mobile, and over instant messaging. What we are doing is basically we take the different shapes of the flow chart and we turn it into live things like buttons. We turn it into decision junctions and calculation junctions, so you could receive information and provide information in a very quick and easy manner.
Oh, so that's fantastic.
What we did with Maccabi, I would like to explain what we did with Maccabi. We took a flow chart and we described the whole process, the whole journey of the technician. What kind of equipment he did, he repaired, what he did, who authorized what, and then if he, for instance, he was working on a printer, then we forced him to go through a specific protocol of work to clean the head, to do this, to do others, who authorized to change what was with the equipment. Everything is described in the flow chart, uploaded to the server, and then we've created an application which he could just simply push the button, provide this information, and update the application on the back end. IT basically steps in at that particular instance only to connect the application to the back office in terms of the technician ID and the call and the service call information which had to externalize. That's about it. So it was quite quicker and quite easy, and basically we saved a huge process of IT programming which was unnecessary, because in the end of the day what we are doing, we take a flow chart, we make it a sort of a design, and the design is the programming method. IT only provides the connectivity to the back office, And sometimes when there is a need for specific pieces of code, it could be implemented within the flowchart. So the whole projects become far more shorter and quick. Furthermore, when the professional within, which is non-IT, would like to change the application, he simply download the flowchart, change it accordingly, the different sign, the arrows and the functions, upload it back, and then he's updating the whole application.
Well, that's beautiful. So, so this is really low code, no code with doing these, to make it easy for non-IT professionals.
That is you're absolutely correct. The difference between no code or low code with DragOnFlow is that those are defined as development platforms which IT professionals need to master and need to work with. While with DragOnFlow, we allow non-IT professionals using tools which they are using on a daily basis, such as PowerPoint, Visio, Draw.io, or others, to continue working, and they don't have to invest anything in terms of learning new environment, new platforms. So it's a major difference, and we've already implemented this with Rambam Health Campus in Israel, the third largest governmental hospital in Israel, where they took DragOnFlow and use it in order to create an application for external patients who are visiting clinics of the hospital. 70 clinics and institutions of the hospital can schedule an appointment through DragOnFlow. All is made through a flowchart which identify you. You get verify your details, your contact details and information. You update your info. You choose the specific clinic that you are referred to, and then specify the time and fix the appointment. Afterwards, you get relevant information about the procedures you're going to take, anything that you need to know about it. You can change it, obviously, the time, all through a flowchart. Huge saving time. And we allow the non-IT professionals, basically the clinical people or others, or marketing people, to work on the flowchart and to basically to control the information and the way application could be maintained and deployed. This is something that up to now was only within IT hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. No, it's making the world a more democratized place, right? It's making it so everybody can participate. I love it. So we're coming to the top of the show. Closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm available on LinkedIn, obviously, and also through DragOnFlow system website, and I'll be available for any approach. So thank you for having me. We are looking, I think one last remark, we are looking at the home care and home hospitalization market within the US. We've started already some initial discussions with an organization which actually is looking at DragOnFlow as an important tool for clinical professionals, primarily on nursing, to allow them to create clinical protocols through DragOnFlow, so caregivers in the field could use it for specific treatment of their patients. So this is something that we are looking at, and we believe that it has a very important future for all of us.
No, that's great. So, Sarid, thanks for taking your time. And for everybody out there, touch base with Sarid if you've got an interesting opportunity, partnership, interesting investment opportunity, interested in investing in their company. Reach out to them. Again, think about the world. We all need to be able to participate in this no code, low code for non-IT professional world. Sarid's got it with DragOnFlow. Check it out. To all of you out there, thanks for attending one more time. The GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And my name is Gary Fowler. I'm your host. I will be back again next Tuesday with another exciting edition. Stay happy, stay safe, and more importantly, stay healthy. I'll be back to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sarid.